Saturday?
Saturday.
What's up, S-Dog? Alright, here we go. good size ones, it looks like. This might be refreshing. Ah! It did not. Sure got it bad. Seems like there might be a little spice in this one. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
A little something.
Okay, so the infamous day 3 rapids.
The violent rapids. Large rapids incident, or I don't know what the official title is at this point, but we all know what we're talking about, at least everybody who was in the boat with me.
I do remember Mariah saying there are some really big rapids coming. Everybody sit down and hang on.
Up until that point, we hadn't really gone through anything that would be considered violent. There was a lot of rapids with some pretty heavy splashes, some fun stuff. Nothing to be concerned about, really.
There weren't too many rapids that had given me pause.
They let everybody know that these were going to be possibly extreme.
I was sitting on the far side of the boat facing Dana across the way. Jacqueline was sitting to my right.
I was sitting in the hen house, or otherwise known as the chicken coop, I think.
I was right in front of the captain there, sitting on a cooler. Yep, sitting on a cooler.
The boat in front of us proceed into the rapid. We noticed that it didn't take long for them to completely disappear, so.
Oh, look at, oh my God. They went over that lip and they dropped.
Had to be 5-10 seconds or more where they went down, and that's a lifetime.
I still don't see them.
This sucks. Oh my god. I'm so comfortable right now.
Yeah, they're gone. It's like land of the lost.
Yeah, we got him.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a big one.
But when we started going into the rapids, I'm on this cooler in the middle of the boat. And I grab onto this shoestring. And I tell you what, I wasn't even that concerned because I thought it'd be like the other big rapids, maybe a little bit stronger. So I thought I was going to be just fine.
And then we hit the first rapids.
It looked a pretty big drop as we approached.
Oh jeez. Oh baby. Oh my God. Oh baby.
Oh my god.
Oh daddy.
So as we hit the rapids, yeah, I distinctly remember 2 major drops.
There was one big drop, and then not too bad, and then boom! I mean, just the floor dropped out from under us. It was just a violent, vicious drop. It seemed to make a lot of noise. I could hear the water just roaring, angry water.
And each of those drops, there was definitely a lot of water coming over into our faces and pushing us around, and kind of being bent in half as you go down and come back up. The boat was just doing this, so we're just kind of getting flopped around as nature would do to you in that situation.
The raft, kind of, as we were going down the rapid, kind of almost folding in half at that bend point, at the natural bend point there.
I think when we were coming back up, the boat kind of, where it pivots, otherwise it would split in two, it kind of opens up. The boat opened up and there was this big gap where that pivot was.
I just remember watching that one area and watching the boat almost seem to fold in half.
In my recollection, you at least could have got a leg, maybe a half a human body stuck in that pivot, and I could see the water underneath there. And one of the many frightening thoughts I had after this is that my foot or leg got stuck in there, because when that thing shut, it was like a trap, a steel trap, and that would have been the end of the leg or end of you or the end of your foot. There would have been no saving it, guaranteed. And what happened after that, when you lost your leg or your foot out in the middle of nowhere, we all have our ideas of what would happen there.
I think I told Colin that I went ass over tea kettle, and damn right I went ass over tea kettle. And so the thing I do remember is my feet and the sky. So when you could see your feet and the sky at the same time, yeah, something's a little upside down. So hanging on with one hand, had the GoPro on the stick. So I'm upside down and holding the stick up. And while I was holding the stick up, it caught some of the activity that was right behind us in the hen house. So as I was ass over tea kettle, I had the camera up in the air, catching what was going on behind. And there, as you can see here, there's a little craziness going on. Not an awful lot caught on the video, but enough to see that there was something wrong with Mom's hand. Paul was aware of it and showed some concern, came over to her. But there, you definitely see that there was something amiss.
And when we got through there, then I brought my hand up and saw the laceration on my thumb, on my right thumb.
After we got through, talked a little bit with Colin, and we had no idea what went on behind us. I mean, those boats are big enough where, you know, especially if you're sitting down, you can't see who's sitting down on the other side or what's going on. And so I don't think a lot of people were aware that something happened. And when I figured it out, I turned around and went back. Unfortunately, turned the camera off. But first thing I saw was Paul with blood across his face.
I remember hearing somebody call out, "We've got blood."
Not knowing what that was all about, just there was blood. So looked over at Mom. She had her hand wrapped up in a towel, and still no idea, but apparently she had hit her hand. And so I turned the camera back on.
I didn't feel anything. I don't know how I did it. And I could see that it wasn't real bad because I could push it back together and the sides went together well.
Well, it's not that bad. Let me look at it. No, it's just a chunk of it. Just a chunk. But what happened is it exposing the joint.
When Mariah came over to look at it, it looked worse than what it was, I think. But when she came over to look at it, she was like, oh my gosh. And she wanted to put pressure on it right away to stop the bleeding. I think at her first thought, she heard Michael say, oh my gosh, I think the bone is sticking out. So
It looks like it's exposing your bone, Mom.
So she might have assumed that's what was happening, and there was she mentioned that maybe we'll have to chopper her out.
And at first we thought it was worse than it ended up being. She was cool as a cucumber. It was pretty amazing. Anybody else would have been concerned. She had no concern. It was just like, put a Band-Aid on it. Let's continue the trip.
But yeah, what a trooper. No issues with it, just wanted to look at it. And Mariah, I think, was more concerned than Mom was.
And I'm going like, no, that's not going to happen. It'll be fine. As soon as we got through the rapids, we pulled into a little cove. She notified the other boat that we had an issue. Then they cleaned it off, steri-stripped it, bandaged it, and put a glove on it so that it would stay dry. And then I wore the glove for the whole rest of the trip so that the dressing stayed dry, and so there wouldn't be any infection, and it healed perfectly. You can't even hardly tell where it was.
We went to shore and got the lawn chairs out, got Mom comfortable, got her hand all taken care of.
With the rapids, I really do thank God that we all made it through pretty much unscathed. It could have been just a devastating and one of the worst experiences of our lives, and now it's just kind of like an exciting memory, but it really could have turned out bad.
A great end of the day, but yeah, that was, I also remember that was the hottest night of sleep I've ever had in my life, trying to sleep in that stone canyon.
So violent rapids, a little bit of blood. Interesting trip. That was quite the end of the day.
If I was hanging on, I'd be. No, on the thing. I'd be going.